right? Just jump into the stream. It will take you to Haridwar, which is once eternal. It will take you to Varanasi, which is no more eternal, and then it will to Bengal for good. This is Arahatship. You getting it? These are the 4 fruits. Now, these 4 fruits are the results of your practice of the meditation on emptiness. You getting it? These 4 fruits. So these 4 fruits, because they are 4 fruits, there are 4 people, there are 4 beings who are actually experiencing the fruits. There are 4 beings, there are 4 kinds of people who actually are experiencing the 4 fruits. These are known as the 4 abiders. The 4 abiders. Abiders meaning the experiencing, who abide in this experience. The 4 abiders, A-B-I-D-E-R-S, 4 abiders. And there are 4 kinds of people. There are people who are on the verge to achieve the fruit. Who are on the verge to achieve the fruit. They are known as the 4 enterers. 4 enterers. 4 enterers are the ones who are on the verge to achieve these 4 fruits. And who already reached there, they are known as abiders. Abiders and enterers. 4 enterers and 4 abiders. Total, how many? 8. These 8 are known as, commonly these 8 are known as 8 Sangha members. 8 Sangha members. Okay, now 8 Sangha members. So how come that these people, they become Sangha members? 8 Sangha members have come, right? How come that they, right? By the way, Sangha, we speak about the Sangha. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dharmam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangha Sharanam Gacchami. Here Sangha means anybody who realizes emptiness directly, whether you're a girl, female, girl, male, girl or boy, rich or poor, or you are from Israel or non-Israel, it doesn't matter. Anybody, whether you're a monk or the nun or layperson, it doesn't matter. Anybody who realizes emptiness directly, you are a real Sangha. You are a real Sangha, right? So you become the object of the refuge. Sangam Sharanam Gacchami. Anybody who realizes emptiness directly, you fall under this category of the refuge, the object of refuge. Okay, so with this, now we see that these beings, how come that they become such a holy Sangha members? Because of the quality of purification, right? Purification, actual purification happens from the part of seeing, right? Actual purification of mind, because it's journey of purifying the mind. So actual purification starts from which part? Part of seeing. Actual purification starts from part of seeing. So because the purification is happening, this is the achievement, and the final purification is the Buddhahood. So the real purification happens. So therefore they become very important. They become very precious, right? Okay, now. So this purification is known as cessation of suffering, cessation cause of suffering. And cessation suffering, it has many levels. 20% cessation suffering, 25% cessation suffering, 50%, no, 20% cessation suffering, 40% cessation suffering, and then
60, 40.
Okay, so there are degrees, you know, there are degrees of the cessation happening. Degrees of cessation happening. So any degree of cessation, any degree of freedom from the self-grasping ignorance, any degree of the freedom from self-grasping ignorance, that freedom, that purification, that cessation is known as the truth of the cessation. And the truth of cessation, some can be just 25% purity, others can be the 50% purity, others can be 75% purity, and others can be 100% purity. You getting it? Okay, so therefore, the point is that you have any quality of the purification. From the purification of what? Self-grasping ignorance. So once the self-grasping ignorance is purified, then the other offshoots, afflictions, offshoots, for example, attachment, anger, jealousy, and contaminant karmas, they also become very shallow. They also become very weak. Okay, they're also purified to that extent. Now, that state of purification is the truth of the cessation. What makes this person to have this purification is because of the non-dual direct experience of emptiness. That is the path which leads to the cessation. You're getting it? Okay. So why these people are very precious, which we refer to as the Sangha. You know, why they become so precious? Because they have achieved the state of purification of the self-grasping ignorance to some extent, whatever extent, 100%, 75%, 50%, 25%, it doesn't matter. Any degree of purification happens of the self-grasping ignorance, that person becomes Sangha. Okay, so this purification is known as which of the Four Noble Truths? Truth of the cessation, suffering and its causes, right? Whatever degree, it doesn't matter. It is not necessarily 100%. Okay, so this cessation is brought to that person by what? By the direct experience of wisdom. Don't just say wisdom, it's a direct experience of the wisdom. Direct experience of the wisdom of emptiness. Or the wisdom which directly experiences emptiness. That wisdom. So that wisdom is the truth, the noble truth number 4. What's the noble truth number 4? Truth of the path leading to the cessation. You getting it? Okay, now, tell me, what made this Sangha very special? Because of the noble truth number 3 and noble truth number 4. You're getting it? Of the 4 noble truths, truth number 3 and 4. These two make the person very special. In what way special? These two will make the person as a Sangha. Sangha, one of the objects of the refuge. Okay. Now, we see that now when we say Dharmam, so morning we said, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dharmam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangam Sharanam Gacchami. Now you understand what is the meaning of Sangam Sharanam Gacchami? I'll go for refuge in those persons who have the degree of the degree of cessation, any degree of cessation of suffering and its causes, and along with the path leading to the cessation. These two qualities. Anybody who has these two qualities, they become Sangha. This is the meaning of that I go in refuge for the Sangha. Now what is Dharma? Dharmam Sharanam Gacchami. Dharmam Sharanam. Dharma is the quality of the beings. Quality of the beings, this quality which makes these people Sangha. What are these two qualities? What are the two qualities which make the person become Sangha? Cessation of suffering and its causes, and the path leading to the cessation. These two truths. Truth number of the 4 noble truths, truth number 3 and truth number 4. Okay, those of you who are new, you may be a little lost here. Don't worry too much, right? Don't worry too much. Okay, so for time being, I have to explain these things a little bit. So when it says Sangam Sharan, Dharmam Sharan Gacchami, Dharma means the real Dharma. The real Dharma is of the 4 noble truths, noble truth number 3 and number 3. Number 3 and number 4. What is the Dharmam Sharanam Gacchami? Hey, what is Dharma? Huh? The truth of the cessation of suffering, which is the third truth, and the truth number 4. What is the truth number 4? So the path leading to cessation. These two are the real Dharma, right? So if you say Dharmam Sharanam Gacchami, the real Dharma is the noble truth number 3 and noble truth number 4. Okay. This is the now. Who is Buddham Sharanam Gacchami? Who is the Buddha? Buddha is the one who is the most refined version of the Sangha. The most refined version of the Sangha is known as Buddha. You're getting it? Okay. Now to make it very simple for everybody, for every one of us here to understand, is that let's say that we take refuge. Refuge meaning I take the help. I take the help of Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. And why I have to take help of the Buddha? Why I have to take the help of the Dharma? Why I have to take the help of the Sangha? Right? Okay. So when you become sick, when you become terribly sick, we have to take the help of doctor. So the doctor, the Buddha is like the doctor. Buddha is like the doctor. And then what will the doctor do? Doctor will come and fix your problem? Huh? Simply give you the prescription, right? And then we live. And you eat the prescription, the paper you eat. What do you do then? What's the prescription for? You have to take the prescription to the pharmacy and get the medicines. So what will actually help is not the doctor. What will help you? People will also not help you. What will help you? The medicines will help you. Medicines which the doctor prescribed. So the medicine is equivalent to the dharma. And what's the sangha? The nurse. Right? So you cannot take the medicine. Forget about taking medicine. You can't even move your body. Right? So there should be somebody to help you, to give you the medicine, who is healthier, who is more healthy, to give you the medicines. Right? To give medicine, to water and so forth. And that you can actually start feeling the effect of the medicines. So that those people who help you to inspire, if I take the medicines well, then I'll also become like this nurse who is very strong, healthy, right? So this is inspiration that you get. So that is the Sangha. This is analogous to Sangha. Okay, with this in mind, now we know what the three jewels are, Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. What is the Buddha? The most refined version of the Sangha is Buddha, right? What is Sangha? Any being who has acquired any of these two qualities of the truth of the cessation and the truth of the path leading to the cessation, that is the Sangha. What is Dharma? What is the Dharma?
The second and the fourth.
The third and the fourth.
The third and fourth.
Second is terrible.
Sorry.
Second, we are so rich in second. We are already very rich in second, don't worry. Second, okay. Third and fourth, yes, third and fourth. Truth of the cessation of suffering and truth of the cause of suffering. Okay, truth of the path leading to cessation. Okay, with this we have done with the Four Noble Truths, we have done with the four fruits, we have done with the 8 Sangha members, we have done with the 3 jewels. You're getting it? Okay. Now, the next thing that we have to learn is dharma and non-dharma, which means what we've learned is that what we want is happiness. And happiness is the result of the virtues. So virtues are the dharma, and what we dislike is miseries. And miseries are the result of the negative thoughts. The negative thoughts are the non-virtues, known as the non-dharma. Right? Dharma, non-dharma. Dharma has many connotations. Dharma and non-dharma activities, meaning virtuous and non-virtuous activities. Okay, this is one thing that we have to know. Then the conventionality of the world. Conventionality of the world. Another thing that why we have to learn these points is that we have to go through the main text. In the main text, all these things are taken for granted. You are taking for granted that you know all these points. Without knowing these points, then what we're going to discuss will be very difficult for us, right? Okay. So, the conventionalities of the world, meaning that, for example, in Israel, which lane should we drive, right? On which lane? Right or left? Right lane. Why not on the left? If you don't drive on the left lane, accidents can happen. Even if the lane is very empty, still you cannot drive on the left lane, right? Why not?
There's agreement. There's agreement between everybody that to be drive on the right lane.
But people may not follow that, right?
So they have a
Huh?
So this is why accident happens.
No, what I'm saying is, if you know that there's no cars there, right? It's like you can see 1 kilometer from here. It's very empty. Then you can drive to the left lane.
Well, technically
Yes, you can.
there's no car and there's also probably no policemen because you can see 1 kilometer
But the
away.
cameras
There's a
can
camera.
catch you, right? Be careful. The cameras are there. And cameras can see not only you. The cameras see also the other cars driving on the right lane also. Why they catch you only? Why they catch only you? Why?
Because you broke the law.
Huh?
You did something against the convention.
Against the convention. What is the convention? That you have to drive on the right lane. This is the convention. What do you mean by convention? Wow, this is amazing. So you have to drive on the right lane. This is convention. What do you mean by convention?
Agreement.
Agreement. Did they agree?
Yes.
Huh? Did they agree?
We agree a priori.
So this agreement came when you were born or before that happened?
It's a code.
Huh?
It's a code.
Huh? It's a
Code.
It's a law.
code of behavior. Who made the code of behavior?
People.
Right?
People.
It became.
Like,
People said and decided.
Huh?
People said and decided. That
Which people?
The first, when there started to be roads and cars, they had to decide which is the best and safer way to do.
Okay, this is very important. Why I'm making you to work on this, to think more, is because this is very important. What is convention? You're getting it? Okay. Okay, anyway, somebody told me that in Israel, the first car came in which year? 1940 something. 1923. Okay, let's see. 1923, the first car came. That's a lucky car. It can drive on both lanes. No problem. You can drive on both lanes, right? In fact, I was so fascinated. What happened was that I was in Sikkim, the border between Tibet and the border area with Tibet. Then there was the exhibition of the Sikkim King's place, photo exhibition, and one of the photos has one gentleman standing by the jeep, a jeep in Tibet, and the jeep number, what is? Can you guess what the jeep number is? Tibet 3. Simple, very simple. Tibet was written in Tibet, and 3, there are only 3 cars, right? So there are no traffic rules. You can drive any way you like, right? Okay. So the point is, then the more cars come in, and then slowly, then everybody says, I want to drive first, I want to go first. Then everybody gets stuck there, right? You cannot move anywhere. The car is meant to make your life quicker. Now it is slowing down your life, right? Even the ambulance gets stuck there. Very important cars get stuck there. Okay, then whose responsibility is that to make sure that the car jam is not happening? Traffic jam is not happening. Whose responsibility? Government. So the government says that, well, now we have to take it very seriously. We have to call the experts. They call the experts. Who are the experts? Human beings on the roads. Hey, experts, human beings on the roads.
Human beings.
Human beings, right? The human beings that we call, not the roads, right? We are making the rule about the road, but we don't call the roads. We call the human beings.
Yeah.
So the human beings, then we call, what do we do now? You are the experts. You tell us, you tell us what is the best way so that this jam is not happening. Right? Then they will say that, okay, where is the steering, right or left? Oh, some are right, some are left. Oh, this is called problematic. Right? So let's make it a rule that all the cars should have the steering on the left. Right? So that then we can make things, we can say that everybody should drive on the right. Okay, then it becomes very easy, convenient. Right? So this is how the people created rule, created convention. So now everybody after that, they have to follow this rule. So they have to follow the convention. The road will not tell you that you are driving on the wrong lane. Right? The road is object will not tell you. It's the subject which tells you. So therefore, convention is coming from the subject, not from the road. So therefore, the conventionalities of the world. For example, say if you want to go to the Wailing Wall, you have to put on the cap. And if you want to go to the Tibetan, the auspicious, the special places, you have to remove the hats. This is convention. You have to follow both conventions. Both are correct conventions. Right? Okay, so the conventionality of the world. These are the things that we need to keep in mind. With this in mind, now let's turn to the text. Now, page 5 of the text book. Page 5. So what we're going to study here from this text is that it's like a dialogue. It's like a debate between the two groups. One who says that nothing exists objectively, everything exists subjectively. Finally, we have to know this. Only if we know this, the Buddha said that this is what the Bodhisattva Shantideva said. All these numerous teachings of the Buddhas are taught in order to activate the wisdom of emptiness. All these teachings are taught by the Buddha to activate the wisdom of emptiness. This is what Bodhisattva Shantideva said. So we have to understand how everything exists subjectively, nothing exists objectively. This is the main objective of our study, of our life. So with this, right, so we have to know how things don't exist objectively. For that, there is already the group of philosophers and thinkers and meditators who realize that nothing exists objectively, everything exists subjectively. There's one group of the philosophers and the practitioners. On the other side, there is another group of people who say that everything exists objectively, nothing exists subjectively. Right? There's a second group. So these two groups, they're having dialogue, and we are encouraged by the Buddha not to follow blindly. Simply because the Buddha said that nothing is subjectively, you don't have to follow blindly. You have to follow through rationality. So what is the best way to do so? So you try to look at the debate going between the two groups. The one who said that nothing exists objectively, and the other is saying that everything exists objectively. How two of them are debating, and which of the two groups has a stronger points that you have to analyze. On that basis, then you decide. You're getting it? Okay. So the debate is going between these two groups. Now the second group who says that everything exists objectively. Second group. Okay, this is very important. Second group, what they say is that this is very important. Listen. Very important. Second group. Okay, let's say you are the group A and I'm group B. Group A who says that nothing exists objectively, everything exists subjectively, and I'm group B who said that everything exists objectively. So for me, when I hear that you are saying that nothing exists objectively, okay, you give me the answers. When you say nothing exists objectively, do you mean to say that everything exists subjectively? Hey, louder.
Yes.
So you are studying Nagarjuna's, the text, and be very proud Nagarjuna students. Say a little louder. Okay, say. Do you mean to say that nothing exists objectively?
Yes.
You mean to say everything exists subjectively?
Yes.
Very good. This flower also exists subjectively?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Yes. This imaginary flower, blue flower, also exists subjectively?
Yes.
No,
No, it does not exist subjectively?
no, it doesn't exist at all.
Doesn't exist, but it's subjectively seen.
Subjectively seen, but doesn't
Imaginary.
exist.
And dream flower is subjectively existent. Right? Both are subjectively real. So if both are subjectively real, just as the dream flower is like imaginary, this flower also becomes imaginary.
This one is not too contemplating. This one is.
Okay, so now you're a wonderful student, amazing. Okay, so say what they are saying is that if this is subjective, just as the dream flower is subjective, it is also subjective. Dream flower does not have to follow cause and effect relation. It's like it has become like imaginary. So even this flower has also become like imaginary, which means that the blue flower is non-existent, even this flower should be also non-existent because they're equally subjectively real, right? Okay, this is the assumption. With this in mind, what we see is for them who advocate objective existence. Let me say this again. Those who advocate objective existence and objective existence mean the same. Don't forget it. If something exists, it must exist objectively to those people who believe in objective existence. Anybody who believes that something exists means it should exist objectively. Don't forget it. If something does not exist objectively, it should be non-existent. Okay, don't forget it. These two premises. One, if something exists for them, for the advocates of objective existence, if something exists, it should exist objectively. So these two are tied together for them. If something does not exist objectively, it should not exist at all. You're getting it? So these two mean the same to them. Okay, with this in mind, let us now read from page 5. Okay, stanza 1 through to stanza 1 through to stanza 5. Stanza 1 through to stanza 5. Okay, stanza 1 through to stanza 6 is the position of the advocates of objective existence. So, who rejects your position? What is your position?
Everything exists subjectively.
Everything exists subjectively, nothing exists objectively. This is your position. And now the advocates of the objective existence, they will try to reject your position, see if your position is rejected. Right? Okay. If all of this is empty, meaning if all of this is empty of objective existence, for them, okay, do you agree? everything is empty of objective existence? Now for them, it is like you saying that everything is empty, nothing really exists. Okay, if all of this is empty, neither would arising nor ceasing exists. If everything is empty, then the ceasing and the arising, which is the fabric, which is the governing principle of the whole universe, ceasing and arising should also be empty of objective existence. If these two are empty of objective existence, they become subjectively real. If they're subjectively real, they are like illusory real, imaginary real. If they're imaginary, they're not real. Then ceasing and arising makes no sense. Then for you, it follows that the Four Noble Truths would not exist. If arising and ceasing do not exist, because you said that arising and ceasing do not exist objectively, yes? Okay. If the arising and ceasing do not exist objectively, for them it means that arising and ceasing, you are saying that arising and ceasing do not exist altogether. If these two do not exist altogether, then the Four Noble Truths would not exist, because Four Noble Truths have to be understood on the basis of ceasing and arising. Because the second truth of suffering, the first truth of suffering arises, truth of the cause of suffering ceases. Then the truth of the cessation suffering originates. Then the truth of the cause of the suffering, whatever, right? Because finally the first two truths, they are the cause effect, and the second and the third and the fourth is cause and effect. So when the effect comes into being, the cause ceases. The cause gives rise to the effect, right? So this cause and effect determines the Four Noble Truths. Only if cause and effect is there, then the Four Noble Truths make sense. So whereas cause and effect is not there, Four Noble Truths cannot be there. Whereas ceasing and arising is not there, cause and effect cannot be posited. Because cause and effect is nothing but a manifestation of the arising and the ceasing. You getting it? Okay, tell me, anyone, how would you say the cause and effect is a manifestation of ceasing and arising? Anyone, very quickly.
Arises. The result, and it sees the cause and the result.
Yes, very good. Shaha?
The first noble truth, the first of the Four Noble Truths, is the result of the second Noble Truth, which is the cause, and the cessation of the first and the second Noble Truth is the fourth. This is third Noble Truth. So again, this is the arisal and the cessation, and the arisal of the third Noble Truth is the dependence upon the fourth Noble Truth.
Okay, so we see that, yes, the Four Noble Truths is nothing but, say, a set of two sets of cause and effect. The first truth is the effect, second truth is the cause of that. Third truth is the effect, and the fourth one is the cause of that. Effect is not the real effect. It's not the real effect you have in mind. This is the effect with the label, right? It's not the real effect. It's a cessation. Cessation is a permanent phenomenon. Okay, so I don't want to go into this. If you're interested, we get time, we can do. Okay, so we see that Four Noble Truths make sense only if there's a cause effect operating. Cause and effect is only possible if there's arising and ceasing happening. You getting it? Where arising and ceasing does not happen, it makes no sense. Cause and effect makes no sense. If there is no cause and effect, then Four Noble Truths will not make sense. So it says, if all of this is empty, neither would arising nor ceasing exist. Then for you, it follows that the Four Noble Truths would not exist. 1. If the Four Noble Truths do not exist, then knowledge, abandonment, meditation, and actualization would not be feasible. Knowledge of what? Knowledge of the truth of suffering, abandonment of truth of cause of suffering. Wow, it's amazing. I'm just reading it and you are getting it. Wow. Meditation of the meditation of the truth of the heart leading to cessation, and actualization of the truth of cessation. Very good, right? Would not be possible, which means the four practices associated with the Four Noble Truths is not possible. You getting it? Okay. If these things do not exist, then if you don't have the knowledge of the truth of suffering, if you don't abandon the cause of suffering, if you don't actualize the cessation suffering, if you don't meditate on the path of leading the cessation, if these things do not exist, the four fruits as well will not arise. Then four fruits you will not get the four fruits. Four fruits you will get only by meditating on the Four Noble Truths. Right? you will not get the four fruits. What are the four fruits? What are the four fruits? Fruit